Now we have here that the line that we're following now is the one through Seth. And we're told Adam lived 130 years, and he begat a son in his own likeness. Now, when Adam was 130 years old, how old was he? When God created Adam, did he create him 30 years old or 14 or 45? I don't know. Anything would be speculation. And if he created him that old, was he that old? And of course, God could create him that old. That, may I say, that answers a lot of the questions about the age of the earth. Somebody says, why, these rocks are billions of years old. Maybe you just don't know. Maybe God, when he created them up 2 or 3 billion years old. He could have done that, of course. I do not know. But what we're saying here, that when Adam had been here 130 years, he begat a son in his own likeness. Now, Adam was made in the likeness of God, but his son is born in his likeness, and he called his name Seth. Now we start through the graveyard. What happened to Seth? Well, he lived, begat sons and daughters, and Adam did too. And we read that what happened to Adam? Well, all the days that Adam lived were 930 years. What happened? He died, verse 5. And then verse 8, why, what happened to Seth? He died, and he had a son over the name of Enos. What happened to him? Verse 11, he died. But he had a son, and Canaan was his son. And what happened to old Canaan? What happened to him? Verse 14, he died too. And he had a son, Mahalalel. And what happened to him? Verse 17, he died. But he had a son, his name was Jared. Well, he died too, verse 20. And then he had a son by the name of Enoch. And he lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And then he died? No, he didn't die. This is a dark chapter, but this is the bright spot in it. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years, and he begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. May I say to you, this is one of the most remarkable things, that in the midst of death, one man is removed from this earth. And it is said of him that he walked with God. That is quite remarkable, by the way. Only 2 men walked with God. We'll see in the next chapter, Noah walked with God. And now we find that Enoch walked with God. These were the 2 antediluvians. And there are actually only 2 men who did not die here in the Old Testament. And we find one of them was Enoch, and the other, of course, was Elijah. And, by the way, this is one of the few before the flood that we have any record of him at all. And we're told here that he didn't die, that God took him. He was translated. Now, what do we mean by translation? Well, translation means you take out of one language a word and put it in another language meaning the same thing. And so Enoch was removed from this earth, translated. You see, he had to get rid of this old body he had. He had to be a different individual, but he had to be the same individual because he was translated, and the word has to be the same. Enoch was taken to heaven. We'll have more to say about that next time, but our time is up for today. And we'll pick up right there next